Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to just stop and think for a second about your absolute favorite creator. The one whose channel you watch literally every single day, the one who always makes you laugh or teaches you something wild. Got him in your head? So here's the big question. Does your favorite YouTuber actually work alone? I mean, it totally looks like it's just one person chilling in their bedroom with a camera, right? Well, spoiler alert, I'm here to shatter that illusion right now. Behind almost every solo-looking channel you love is a massive crew. In fact, it's pretty much the exact same type of crew that Hollywood relied on 80 years ago. They just go by completely different names today. Which brings us to Section 1, the camera pen dream, 1970 versus today. Imagine for a second that it's 1970. Back then, young filmmakers had this wild, impossible dream. They wanted making a movie to be as simple as just writing a book with a pen. But reality check, that just wasn't how things worked. It took enormous budgets and up to 200 professionals just to get a single movie onto a screen. Fast forward to today, though, and look at this massive shift. 200 to 1. That crazy 1970s dream, it literally came true, and you're probably carrying it around in your pocket right now. Today, one single person with a smartphone can record, edit, and publish their art for the entire world to see. But amidst all this incredible pocket-sized technology, there's one unchanging truth. Look at the stark contrast here between money and art. They actually have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Seriously. A super cheap, zero-budget video shot in your own backyard can be brilliant art, while a multi-million-dollar studio production can be an absolute flop. Money just doesn't buy talent. That brings us to our second unshakable truth, and Section 2 of our explainer, classic trades, modern names, the evolution of the crew. Remember that solo channel you love that looks like the work of one lonely genius? Well, as this brilliantly illustrates, it's actually built by a highly modern version of a classic Hollywood crew. Look at how perfectly these old, kind of intimidating Hollywood jobs map right onto the digital roles you scroll past every single day. The classic film editor? Well, that's today's video editor. The head of publicity? That is your community manager. And the poster artist who used to paint those massive billboards? Yup, they are now the thumbnail designer fighting tooth and nail for your click. The roles are exactly the same, only the canvas has changed. The really crucial takeaway here is that understanding video isn't just a fun hobby for after school. It is a massive, real-world career path. We've even seen entirely new trades born directly out of the internet, like data analysts who dive deep into the metrics, or community moderators who keep comment sections safe. These are real, viable careers that thousands and thousands of young people actually live on right now. Let's break down how this builds into the specific roles holding everything together. Section 3, the producer, money and organization. So a producer is the person with an open mind who brings the money and the organization to the table. They build the budget, plan out the schedule, and keep a super tight leash on the spending. So how does this actually work on your feed? Well, on YouTube or TikTok, the creator is usually acting as their own producer. They decide what to film and exactly when to hit publish. But, and this is a big but, when a brand sponsors a video, they step into the role of the producer. Whoever puts up the money inevitably influences the content, which is exactly why the law requires creators to clearly mark those videos as ads. Next up, Section 4, the director, from technician to creator-author. In the really early days of cinema, a director was honestly just a technician hired to point a camera. But over time, they evolved into the creator-author, someone whose real, ultimate mission is teaching us to see the world entirely through their eyes. You can spot a true creator-author in like 3 seconds, and they usually fall into one of 3 distinct types. First, there's the stylist, who creates unmistakable, jaw-dropping visual beauty. Then there's the storyteller, who uses captivating narratives to just keep you totally hooked. And finally, the total author, who presents reality in such a fresh, wild way that the whole world seems brand new. Anyone can copy a viral trend, but true authors, they turn video into art. Now, if you really want to understand these authors, you have to look at the foundations. I highly, highly recommend checking out classic masters like Chaplin, Kubrick, or Fellini. Exploring their old work is exactly like listening to the original musicians who invented your favorite genres of music today. You watch them and suddenly, boom, it all clicks, and you see exactly where all of modern video language actually comes from. All right, let's step in front of the lens. Section 5, those on screen. The evolution of actors. People are always trying to separate TV actors from internet personalities. But let me tell you a little secret. There's basically no difference. The tools are exactly the same: gesture, voice, screen presence. Those classic actor types definitely haven't disappeared. They've just adapted to your phone. He's got the non-actor popping up in viral street interviews. You've got the non-human, like insanely popular VTubers or, famous pets. You have the chameleon, who plays every single role in a comedy sketch. But the absolute most successful creators today, they're the personality actors. Whatever they do, they are fundamentally just themselves, but playing a highly amplified, fine-tuned version of their own personality. And what actually makes these personality actors pop through the screen? It all comes down to this one crucial concept: photogenia. Now listen closely here, because photogenia is not just about being traditionally handsome or pretty. Actually, scratch that. It has almost nothing to do with that. Photogenia means coming across as completely natural, just bursting with personality. The camera heavily rewards pure authenticity over traditional beauty. This is exactly why creators who don't look like runway models find massive global success. The camera just literally eats up realness. Okay, let's slow things down a bit. Section 6. The warning. The ultimate acting lesson. I want you to really focus and just take a breath here, because this is an incredibly important point. Look at this contrast. In traditional cinema, an actor gets to leave their character behind the second the director yells cut and the shoot ends. They take off the costume, they wash off the makeup, and they go home as themselves. But a social media creator? They often live inside their digital persona 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The line between where the character ends and the real everyday person begins becomes incredibly and sometimes dangerously blurred. And I need to speak directly to you about this, because this blurred line is an actual real-world hazard. Confusing yourself with the character you play online, or measuring your actual worth as a human being only by the number of likes and views you receive, it does real, tangible harm. The mental health dangers of this likes economy are deeply, deeply toxic. When you start to confuse your everyday, sometimes messy reality with a highly edited, ring-lit performance, you lose a piece of your actual self. So please, if you take anything away from this explainer, make it this one profound psychological truth. The character is a work. You are a person. Just let that sink in for a second. Whether you're the one pressing record or you're just the one double tapping the screen from your bed, you must always, always separate your true intrinsic self from the digital world. The content is just the art. You are the human being behind it. All right, let's bring the energy back up, because next time we reach our grand finale in episode 6, the exam. We're going to take everything we've learned in this explainer about the hidden crew, the money, the authors, and the actors, and put it to the ultimate test. You're going to learn how to analyze absolutely any piece of media like a true expert, so you can never be fooled by a screen again. But until then, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. The next time you sit down to watch your favorite creator, are you actually seeing the person, or are you just watching the producer, the director, and the character all cleverly rolled into one? Think about it. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll catch you next time.